Hey guys, welcome back to Beers and Breakevens, the late show. Kat Haddad still on holidays. She's been gone forever. What the fuck is she doing over there? Is she ever coming back? What's doing?
Yeah, she got a bit to answer for when she gets back.
That's her 15th official warning.
She's had a few.
She's not short on official warnings. We have got Matty the Border Boy with us once again. Welcome in, my friend.
Yeah, it's a late show for a reason.
It's
very
late
late right now.
It is late tonight.
It's late as fuck. So let's get to it.
Yeah.
Scissors, paper, rock, you and me. I'm going left-handed again.
Are you trying to rattle me like last week?
Yeah, I mean.
Worked well.
Nothing else is
Going
working
for about
me.
5 in a row.
Let's go. Scissors, paper, rock. Fuck, I'm good.
He's got one.
You can take the new ball, kid.
All right, mate.
First question, Matty. What do we got?
Okay, this is from Anthony. Is it time to give up on Howorth as a pod? Scores have been disappointing, but Storm on an attacking role with a soft upcoming draw.
You know what? I'd hold Jack Howorth just for a few more weeks. I think, whether or not it's a long-term hold with the Origin coverage and that, he's not going great, but 450k, I just think the draw the Storm are coming into had his moments. He's just had no attacking stats, as you said. Dolphins this week, Bunnies, Raiders, Tigers. There could be some great scores in there. So stick strong. You don't necessarily have to play him. I'd hold.
Yeah, I think you've already got him. You hold him. I think the other beauty of him, mate, is when they get out to these big leads, he's the last bloke that's going to get rested. So he'll always be on the field. The stats will come. As Timmy said, you don't have to play him every week. Pick and choose your moments. But if you've already got him, I'd be holding him for sure.
All right, next question. This is from Jay, who is currently 47th ranked overall.
Jesus.
In brackets, a big flex. Not sure if he put that in or one of you guys.
Nah, he put it in.
Okay, well, it is a big flex. Congratulations to you, Jay. His question is, NAF to Egan or for feeder?
I think it just depends what you want. Are you looking for cash? Are you looking for points? I personally think for feeder will score more points, but I think Egan, you'll make money, and I don't think the points will be that crazy. So I kind of lean towards Egan at the moment. If he starts this week, I think I would definitely go Egan. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, firstly, on the 47th big flex away. If you're sitting 47th, it won't last forever.
hell.
It might. So, yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. It's very tough. If Egan starts, I would go down to Egan, bank a few points there and the cash. If Egan's off the bench as named, it's a bit different. Maybe you go David for feeder. So I'll say Egan, but yeah, it's tight, isn't it? Jeez.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, from Carly Walls. Is it an option to hold Arthurs through Origin and then move him on?
Yeah, interesting. I would say no, probably. I'm just rapidly under pressure trying to look at the Broncos Origin schedule. Misses round 12 and round 15, their first two major bye weeks for the Broncos. So based on that, he has a poor Origin run. So no, it's a sell. And because I've given Guru the goods there, I know he's going to follow me into it.
Oh, yeah, it's a no. I think you knew better than Arthur's, in my opinion, and no. No, thank you.
This is where the buy coverage stuff comes into it. And if I look at it and he was playing all three of the major buy rounds, I go, all right, maybe there's well where you can hold, but with that one, it's a negatore.
Yeah.
This is from Tom Soy. I'm ranked inside the top 1K. Is May a must? I currently have Haas, Lindsay Smith, and Tino in front rows.
Is that saying he doesn't have Terrell May at the moment?
Doesn't have Terrell May. So
But he's in the top 1K.
Jeez.
That is a very fucking good knock. Oh, shit, that's really thrown me. I mean, you're in the top 1K. Is he a must? I don't know. Would you rather spend try? I'd want to have Terrell May in my side. I think it's a safe 80. You're missing every other week. But once again, you're in the top 1K. Why the fuck are you taking advice off me? I still kind of say yes, but I guess he's going to play Origin in a few weeks' time. I don't know. I'm sort of thrown by that one. I'm on the back foot.
I would buy. He's putting up, he's averaging 80, playing these absurd minutes. He hasn't really had, I don't think he's had a try assist or anything yet. So, you know what, mate? And I see the idea of getting aggressive and being in that 3% who don't own him. What happens if he goes down injured or suspended or anything like that happens? But the numbers he's punching out, I'd be adding a fourth gun front row forward and I'd make the move on Terrell May.
Can you imagine a world where we're advising people to buy a 700k front row forward with a break even of 55?
We're dreaming right now. We're in a nightmare at the moment.
Fucking insane.
Yeah.
Next, Matty.
Next question from Lachlan Brewer. I have jumped 15k spots to 8k overall and the group chat didn't care. Do I get new mates?
Yeah, you sack the group chat. If they're not getting around a 7K jump and getting around you, look, this is a real...
Well, sorry, it says jump 15K spots. So I think he's gone from
even better.
22K.
Yeah, 15K jump to up to 8K.
23.
The boys need to get around this more. This is a real one. Like, I can just imagine your draft chat, Roo. There would never be a word of good work or great trade or anything like. There'd be some dark shit going on in your draft trade.
I haven't got a compliment in 14 years. It's fucked. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I actually think they're good mates. Mate, it's one thing I will never compliment mates when they do well in SuperCoach and when they win a bet.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I want to see you do. You be as successful in your life, your career, your family. I'm happy for you. Those two things, fuck off.
If they can, it's a good point. If they congratulate you, they're probably fake mates.
Yeah.
Like, they're not comfortable enough to tell you how they really feel.
Like, every time you two tell me about a great bet you got, I'm filthy. I'm not even slightly happy for you, and nor should you be happy for me.
Yeah, okay. Could be the best point you've ever
Dark
made.
area,
Could be
right?
the best point you've ever made on this show, mate.
Thank you.
I'm wearing
I
a
appreciate
Chiefs shirt, but when you said that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, you win a certain amount of money, I was going for the other team.
Fucking oath. 100%. Still haven't got over that. It's fine. All right, next question, Matty.
All right, from Dan O'Connell. Chasing the upside captaincy score has been killing me weekly. Continue chasing that high or just lock in Haas captain? Man, this guy needs Grammarly. There is no punctuation here. Or just lock in Haas captain and take the 70 to 100 weekly and cop missing some higher captain scores potentially.
Cop that, Dan.
Yeah, jeez. I'll add another one into Dan's question, and no, I did not write it. But you could add Terrell May to that argument as well. If do you just lock in these big scores that they're punching out?
No, chase it. Go for it. Go for the 100+ scores. I still think if you want to lock in one of them as a VC or something, sure. But I think captains-wise, I think there's enough good stars that are doing good things to go for it personally.
Yeah, I see people say it, and I get the argument of like maybe the first 5-6 rounds of, you lock in Payne Haas as the example, or the Tino Malawi, whoever it might be, who get their 60, 70, 80. I know this year there's bigger with Terrell May and Haas, but nah, to your point, Roo, there are so many great matchups. You add in now, people are about to have, if they don't already, 3-gun fullbacks. One of them's going to have a good matchup. They can go the 150s. If anything else, mate, SuperCoach is entertainment, right?
Yep.
Locking in Haas or Terrell May, I know he did it good. It's so boring.
It is so boring, but I will say this on reflection. Had I locked in May as my captain every week, I would be doing better than I am right now. There's no denying that whatsoever, but not a fucking coward.
And further to that point, again, maybe first 5 rounds, I think that starts to flip with we're getting better players into our team. Sides are getting weaker in the actual NRL with injuries hitting and all sorts of things. So I think that ship, if you'd done it, good work, but it sailed.
I think from a selfish point of view too, if we were to put on a show every week and we captained a front row forward, we don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch this shit if we were doing that. I wouldn't watch this shit in the first place, but if we're doing that every week,
Especially wouldn't.
no fucking way.
Yeah.
Last question, Matthew. Greg Matthew, take me away.
Last question from Jeff. Who's an NRL player from the past you get excited about that nobody else would?
You go first, you sick puppy.
I am going to say Paul Mellor. Played in the Rabbitohs and Sharks and a little bit for the Bulldogs throughout the 90s and early 2000s. But the reason Paul Mellor is because my parents, I'm pretty sure they taught him in school, so they knew him somehow. So in our household, he was Daly Messenger. He was the guy. And then when I started watching rugby league,
It was Daly Messenger.
when I started watching rugby league around when South come back in 2002, he was in our team, and South didn't score many points. There was a real bad era, as everyone knows, and he was a winger that scored a few tries. So, yeah, I always enjoyed Paul Mellor.
Matty, what did you do as probably the most fanatical South Sydney supporter that I know? And there's a few of them out there. What did you do when they were kicked out?
I was
You were very young.
Pretty young.
I was in preschool, so I wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
It's funny though. Like I talked to Beck's dad, who's as big diehard as Matty, and he, I had a conversation with him one day about the 99 grand final, the penalty try. He didn't know what I was talking about. He's like, mate, I didn't watch it for those 2 years. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I did, but I did not watch a game during that 2-year period. And I thought, that's wild.
Yeah.
Like he will watch 4 or 5 games a weekend now, and has ever since I've met him. But if you ask him anything about those 2 seasons, or a few seasons, whatever it was, completely blank.
And there'd be a lot of Bunnies fans who did the same.
my kindergarten teacher, huge Roosters fan. I'm pretty sure she still works for the club. Her name's Kate Miller.
She does still work for the club. I worked with her as a teacher 2 years ago. Legend.
Well, there you go. Small world. So she was my kindergarten teacher in year 2000. And I was a 5-year-old kid, impressionable, and she tried to convince me to go for the Roosters. And I went home and told my family that I'm going to go for the Roosters. And South weren't even in the comp, and I was made to go for South, and they weren't even in the competition. So my dad actually took me to my grandparents' house, and they explained to me that, okay, that you actually have to go for this team. They're not in the comp anymore. Your dad and your pop are very sad, but they'll come back one day. Blah blah. So yeah, that was
It's not a cold though.
Like my heart skipped a beat for a second there. I thought we were going to get that Matty for a week or 2 weeks or a month or 6 months was a Roosters supporter, and he would have. There'd be nothing would have ever regretted more in his life.
I'll tell you what, there's not many people that have the balls to say no to Kate Miller too. That lady used to scare the living shit out of me at the time. So
Shout out
to you, Matty, for that sort of bravery. Who have you got in there?
Mate, the one and only David Stagg that no one would give a shit about, but I love David Stagg. I was a big fan of the Doggies growing up as well, and probably even sort of the back end of it, but what David Stagg did for the Doggies in his era, honestly, as a Queensland hater as well, even when he was at the Broncos, I grew up, still am, a runt, playing rugby league, and like I was an absolute twig playing footy, going through the grades as a young fella. And I used to just love watching players in the NRL who were tiny and used to just play above their weight. For the record, not saying I did that, but I used to love watching the ones that did. Because like every kid, like I had aspirations of playing NRL, and I'm like, I'm a twig. How the hell could I do that? And then I'd watch like David Stagg go out there, looked like he was about 75 kilos, ring and wet, playing lock, making 50 tackles a game, playing any position. I just love David Stagg, so he's my one.
Fun fact, Timmy, when you were in America a few months ago, before everyone else went to Vegas, we went up to the Dolphins, did a live show, and it was me, Hammy Denon, and David Stagg. That was the live show.
Of course it was.
I actually met him in Perth last year when I was at the Dolphins over there, and he said hello. I said hello to him, and he goes, "Oh, you're on Bloke and Bar." I said, "Yeah, mate. My co-host Tim Williams absolutely fucking loves you." He did not give a shit. He couldn't have cared less. Which I was like, "Oh, yeah." I thought that was worth sharing. Anywho, that's me. My turn. I'll tell you what.
David Stagg doesn't know who I am. Shock.
Now, this is one that I'm going to throw in there that he's a very, very good player. He's probably like the best player out of the guys we've mentioned. But even on the weekend, the Titans were warming up and Jim Dimmick walked along in the background. I went, "Oh, there he is, Jim Dimmick." Yes, fuck yeah. So Jimmy, I've always been a big fan of. Two that came to mind when we were talking for me, Brent Sherwin and Tony Carroll. Two guys I always loved. But number one for me, ball playing forwards, ball playing big boys. I will always get weirdly excited when I see Adam Cuthbertson. He's playing for the Mackay Cutters a couple of years ago, and I got very hot and heavy.
Adam Cuthbertson, yeah, that's fantastic.
You know, when you talk about people like, oh, they passed away too early, he went to the Super League way too early.
Yeah.
Way too fucking early, Adam Cuthbertson, one of the greats. Anything else that came to mind there? Any other names you want to toss
Owen
up before we hit
Craigie.
the frog?
Owen Craigie.
Big O. Very, very good shout.
He was the first Rabbitohs player to give me an autograph. It was in Rebel Sport. I'm pretty sure it was in Maroubra somewhere when I was a kid. Yeah. My first autograph was actually Keith Galloway. So that actually, he's probably the one, to be honest. Like my dad was a teacher at Maris Cogra, and Keith Galloway was playing first grade for the Sharks in year 12. And I went to work with him in the year 12 graduation, and I sat next to Keith Galloway as he graduated, which I thought was the coolest thing ever and still do. So he wrote in my autograph book, "Go the Bunnies, I'm sure they'll come good someday." And they did.
And they did. Who was yours again? Oh, Stagg.
Stagg. And my first ever favourite football, I think it must have been about 98. I think I was 4, just started putting a couple of words together. A bit of a late bloomer, I'd imagine. Rocket Rod Silver.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Rocket Rod Grant. My first ever favourite footballer.
How good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Very good. The Biz and Bake Evans crowd, make sure you leave a compliment in the comments for Matty. He's done a big shift for us tonight, going above and beyond, as he always does. A real trenches footballer, Matty the Waterboy.
We give him some stick, but he more often than not looks after us without complaint. So, and he's put in a big shift today.
He has.
So
yeah, it's been a big week for Matty with the Galvin news and everything going on, and then us calling him in here. It's been a fuck around. So shout out to you, Matty. What time did you get here this morning?
I think I got here at 7 something.
Yeah.
Hot tip. It's 10 p.m. right now.
Yeah.
So Matty's done a fucking shift. We're going to let him go home. Well, actually, we've got about 40 minutes of shit to do. So we're going to get off the air because we've got to get Matty home to his family at some point. And mine probably aren't excited to see me, but I'll be there anyway. So how good. We'll see you next week.